There is a lot of stigma around gender, especially with trans men and women. In our culture, they are deemed as doing something unnatural, but just like you and I, they are just human beings whose rights and liberties are and should be respected and protected.
Let us define trans. In the LGBT plus spectrum, identifying as a transgender is someone whose sex assigned at birth is different from what gender they identify with. Transgender, often shortened as trans, is also an umbrella term.
Transgenders may include cross-dressers, transsexuals, and transgenderists. A cross-dresser dresses differently from their sex. A transsexual is a person who undergone medical procedures to change their sex assigned at birth, while transgenderist is someone in between cross-dresser and a transsexual.
Transphobia is a systemic violence against trans people. Associated attitudes with it are fear, discomfort, distrust, or disdain. Another layer is social stigma. There is no harm in expressing one's gender identity, but they are very most just tolerated and not accepted fully as they are.
Last year, Madonna Niera's body was found in a river in Bagong Silang, Caloocan. Their case is not isolated, but one that made headlines for days is the case of Jennifer Laude, whose perpetrator, Joseph Scott Pemberton, has been pardoned by President Duterte.
According to the Human Rights Campaign, more trans people has been killed in 2021 than they were in 2013 to 2019. And although violence against them is reported in every corner of the world, violence can take place in the streets, in public areas, in their workplaces, schools, or even at their own homes.
According to the Human Rights Campaign, more trans people have been killed so far in 2021 than were killed in 2013 to 2019. While violence towards them is reported in every corner of the world, it could take place on the street, public areas, workplaces, schools, or even in their own home.
In a study by the United Nations last 2018, a trans woman has 30% of getting bullied at work.
Transgender women in the Philippines reported being sexually violated at a young age by family members, and many of the respondents did not realize that they had been sexually abused until they were adults.
There is too little legislation created against gender-based violence. The Philippine nation has not reciprocated them with the protection they need and deserve.
mawala na yung discrimination na patuloy na nag-lurk sa
What's more
society
threatening
namin.
is that there are more cases that will never make it to national TV.
Yung sa case ko kasi, sobrang tagal ko nang nabubuhay sa discrimination and being judged by other people kasi parang mostly ang mga cases na kinakaharap ko about the discrimination and judgment from other people is sinasabihan nila ako na wala akong karapatan gumamit ng CR ng babae kasi lalaki pa rin naman ako, wala akong karapatan na mag-CR sa lalaki kasi parang sinasabi nila lagi nila sinasabi sa akin ng boboso ako. So saan ako lulugar?
There is so much work needed to be done to spread awareness, replicate empathy, and create legislations that uphold the life and dignity of transgenders and other members of the LGBTQ+ community.
And even though we commemorate the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia every May 17, when we start separating us from our trans brothers and sisters, we become divisive.
Meron ding instance na sa paaralan ko dati, sinabihan nila ako na wala akong karapatan na mag-aral dito. Lumipat ako ng ibang eskwelahan kasi parang nakakahawa, parang ang influential ko dun sa society ko na parang sakit tong gender ko, parang sakit tong sexuality ko kasi ang dami parang ang dami ko daw nakakawaan na maging bakla, maging tibo, ganon.
We have a long way ahead of us until people slowly learn to accept everyone, no matter what their gender is.
We are all human beings.
We laugh.
We cry.
We love.
Inherent in each of us is our dignity and rights.
See them as one of you.
So you or I can become we.
And we are stronger together.